Have you ever felt like you're walking through life alone, even though you're doing everything right? You strive to follow God's voice, make the right choices, and live with purpose. But the more obedient you become, the more isolated you feel. If that resonates with you, you might be one of God's chosen. And there's a reason for that. Today, I want to share 3 powerful reasons why God's chosen ones often walk alone, and why that solitude isn't a punishment, but a divine preparation for something greater. The first reason is that God's chosen are set apart for a higher calling. All throughout the Bible, when God calls someone, He first separates them. Think of Moses. Once a prince in Egypt, he spent 40 years alone in the desert tending sheep. It wasn't because he was forgotten, it was because he was being prepared. Being chosen doesn't mean being celebrated by the crowd. It means walking a path that few understand. As Isaiah 55, 8-9 reminds us, God's ways are not our ways, and His thoughts are higher than ours. When you're chosen, you will often be rerouted, and that may mean losing friendships, family support, or the comfort of community. But it's in that quiet, hidden place that God shapes you, strengthens your character, and reveals your true assignment. The second reason is that not everyone can handle the light of someone who's chosen. Walking in divine purpose means carrying a light that sometimes exposes what others are trying to hide. It's not arrogance, it's just the reality of spiritual contrast. Joseph's own brothers couldn't handle his dreams. Instead of supporting him, they tried to destroy him. In the same way, your calling might intimidate or confuse others. Your growth might make them uncomfortable. And so they distance themselves, not realizing that your journey isn't about superiority, but surrender. But remember this, rejection is often redirection. When people walk away, it's not always the enemy. It's God pruning your circle. As John 15:2 says, He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit. God will remove people who aren't meant to go where He's taking you. And though it may hurt, it's protection for your purpose. Finally, walking alone builds deep and unshakable strength. There's a type of faith that only forms in the wilderness. When no one is around to validate you, you learn to rely fully on God. That's when your roots grow deep. David didn't face Goliath with the encouragement of a crowd. He stepped out with the confidence he gained while alone, fighting lions and bears in the fields. That private training is what prepared him for public victory. Solitude is not weakness, it's where spiritual warriors are made. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, God says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." In that space of loneliness, God is refining you, building your resilience, and preparing you for something far beyond what you can see now. So if you're feeling isolated today, don't mistake it for rejection. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. God does His greatest work in secret. You're not forgotten, you're being forged. You're not overlooked, you're being set apart. Walking alone isn't a curse, it's God's divine strategy to ready you for the assignment ahead. Stay faithful, stay obedient, and trust His timing, because when the season shifts, the same God who led you into the wilderness will bring you into your purpose, and it will all make sense. If this message encouraged you, let me know in the comments by typing "I'm chosen." And if you know someone else walking through a season of solitude, share this with them. You never know who needs this reminder today.